Hey man, how are you? Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. It's just been one of those weekends. But anyways, yeah, let's get down to the cricket. You wanted to start off with South Africa and New Zealand. I was kind of wanting to end it off last, but considering how dismal it was, it's probably better to get that out of the way in hindsight. So, yeah, and probably when I look at this match in terms of um, South Africa, this must be ranking as probably, from what I've seen, probably one of our very worst performances. I've never seen South Africa be so bad in all three facets. I've seen us play at 50%, but to play even way less than 50% is a bit. We played like a substandard team, eh? Even Bangladesh could play a lot better than this. So, your thoughts?
You know, in these times here, it's become the trend where teams don't win away from home. It's become the trend where teams when they tour they don't really win test matches anymore. I mean, apart from India, you haven't seen many teams winning away from home, and it's been a
Hmm.
trend for a long time now. And I guess that has to be that probably goes down as a weakness for a lot of teams now that they can't win away from home. But this performance was really it was really one to forget. It was an annihilation. It was a proper annihilation. And I mean, if you talk about all three facets of the game, I mean, batting, bowling, fielding. I mean, the batting was trash. I mean, day one. The fielding was trash. The bowling was trash. I mean, at the end of
Hmm.
the day, I mean, I can understand the bowlers losing it towards the end because, I mean, the fielders were
Hmm.
not backing
Hmm.
them up. I mean,
Hmm.
the amount of drop catches that went down was
Hmm.
so alarming. It was shocking. It was absolutely shocking. I mean,
And South
you,
African
you, you get
performance.
bundled out for 95. You get bundled out for 95 on day one. You got no other option to take your catches. You've got to take every chance that comes your way. You've got to try
Hmm.
and make a game out of this. But boy, oh
Hmm.
boy, I'm not sure if it's the quarantine. I'm not sure if it's the off-field stuff, but these are poor excuses because at the end of the day, these are pros, these are professionals. Uh, they're coming off a good series, and this has really been a shocker. It's really
Hmm.
been a shocker. That it's left me a bit shell shocked in a way because
Hmm.
if I look back at the India series, I think a lot of things were sugar coated in that series, and the one thing that was sugar coated was the batting because we've got serious problems at number one, two, and three.
Hmm.
And look, the obvious pick is Aiden Markram. I mean, I just pulled out a stat the other day. I mean, in his last 10 tests, he's averaging like his last 10 innings, he's averaging somewhere around 9.46. And I mean, there's a few tailenders that are averaging much higher than that. I mean, I can show you. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
by no means is an opening batsman's task an easy task, but I mean,
Hmm.
this has been going on for far too long. And I just feel he's taking up a spot in this team for some reason.
Hmm.
He's really taking up a spot because you can bring in somebody talented and give them a
Hmm.
run. And, I really think time is up for Aiden Markham. I honestly do feel time is up for Aiden Markham. And coming at the next test match, I mean, that's just in a few days' time. I don't see any reason why they should play him. Uh, he hasn't shown
Well,
any confidence. And
unless you
let's be
play.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's be fair
Yeah.
here. Let's be fair. I mean, if you're going to drop Aiden Markram, you're not going to drop him for the 95 all out. And I think I spoke to you about this off air.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, when
Hmm.
you get bowled out for 95 all out, it's a combined failure of all batters. And I don't
Hmm.
think he's the only one that
Yeah.
that place is under threat in this team. I think apart from Bavuma, I think everybody's place is under threat in this team.
Mm.
I think Rassi hasn't shown his best in red ball cricket. I think he's a fantastic
Mm.
player in one day cricket. But I
Yeah.
do feel in time Rassi needs to obviously be released of this team as well, because I think in test matches you really want someone that can give you those years ahead. And I do feel it's time to blood a youngster. I do feel there's two spots available now to blood a youngster, and I think it's an opening spot and Rassi's spot. So yeah, I mean Elgar didn't have a good game as well. I really get
Yeah.
frustrated when Elgar fishes around that off stump line, but I do believe they bowl well to him. And
Fisher.
I mean the bowling was really shocking in this
Yeah.
game. I think they lost their
Yeah.
control.
He must have thought about
Uh,
fishing. Now that
I do feel the pace was down. I really do feel the
yeah.
pace was down. I mean, all the bowlers, I mean, you're talking medium paces. I mean, 120, 125. I mean, you're really not going to trouble batsmen with that sort of pace. I mean,
Mm. Mm.
and I mean, the complete opposite to how New Zealand played in this game. And you know what? We really, I mean, digressing this Proteas performance, because it's been so abysmal. It's been shocking. I mean, 2.5 days. I'd say 2 days and a session. It's been done. But I mean the nice boys of cricket. I mean, you got to give it to them. This was a fabulous
Mm.
performance from them. I mean,
Yeah.
in their home country, I think they're one of the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
They're one of the best
But yeah.
red ball team going around in home conditions. And I think this
Mm.
performance really showed how difficult it is to beat them at home and in their conditions. I mean, they are
Yeah.
really a master of those conditions. And I mean, Matt Henry. I mean, what a game! What a game! That was really one
Mm.
of the best test matches I've seen, of performances that I've seen in a long time. I mean, 7 for 22 in that
Mm.
first innings. He bowled superbly. He kept it on that 4 to 6 meters and just around that fourth stump line. He really got the Proteas batsmen in a real pickle.
Mm.
They had to play. They
Mm.
had to play at most of the deliveries. And I mean, I did
Mm.
speak to you about some of those deliveries were really unplayable, and they really were.
Mm.
There was no way you could hide
Mm.
from those. And
Mm.
I think it's down to application at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
look, nobody had a good game. Nobody had a good game. And
Yeah.
I mean, the replacement for Keegan Peterson, uh, well, Sadal Alvier, you really can't be too hard on him. It's his first test match. I really
Mm.
don't think
Mm.
he's to blame for anything at the moment.
Oh,
I do think there've really been problems in this batting lineup for a really long time. I mean, that 1, 2, and 3, as I just pointed out. I mean, uh,
mm.
if it wasn't for the runs of Peterson and Bavuma and Elgar chipping in with a few innings in that India series, I mean, we were already talking at another hammering there. So I think,
Mm.
those innings really sugarcoated the problems in this Proteas lineup. And the numbers are appalling. The numbers are really dismal in Test cricket. And
Yeah.
something needs to
Mm.
change here. I think you need, I mean, I don't want to say a complete overhaul, but I do feel it. I do feel two places are up for grabs in this lineup, and I gave you
Mm.
those. I gave you those two spots that are up for grabs, and I think it's time to
Mm.
blood a few youngsters. And yeah, I mean, what's also frustrating for me, right?
Mhm.
You had a 7-4 split in the Test match, and I was
Mhm.
actually happy that they played the extra time. But what I was not happy about was the inclusion of Hamza. And I mean, this is nothing to do with Hamza. I have nothing against him as a
Mm.
player. But I
Mm.
mean, it's really unfair to a player that was already in the camp, and that being Ryan
Mm.
Rickleton. And I thought Rickleton, I mean, he's such a fabulous player at domestic level, and he's averaging like about 101 this season in
Mm.
4-day cricket. And I
Mm.
really think it was harsh on him as a whole.
Yeah.
And it really frustrated me, in a way. And I'm going to call it out. If this was a transformation target, I mean, it's a little bit disappointing for me, because
Yeah.
I felt that he deserved his spot in the team. And I mean, with Peterson not being there, you could understand. But I mean, Hamza
Yeah.
did well in that first innings, and then he played a loose shot. I'm not saying the
Mm.
results would have changed. honestly speaking, I don't think
Yeah.
the result would have changed that much because New
Mm,
Zealand were red hot in this game. I mean,
mm,
with the ball and with the bat, but particularly with the ball, I mean, they were absolutely
mm,
ruthless. Because I
mm.
mean, if you look at the batting performance, I mean, 482 is a mammoth total. But I think a lot has been a lot has to do with the way they really, you know, the bowling was so superb in this game that they a lot has to do with the way they skittle out the Proteas in their first innings, and I think that gave them enough freedom to post a massive total, and I think any lead on this wicket would have been tough, but I mean 388 conceding 388 was abysmal,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean it's really back to the drawing board here. I don't really think
Mm.
this is a true reflection of this Proteas side. I mean, we really know what they're
No,
capable of,
no,
especially with the ball.
no,
And
no, no, no.
they showed
Yeah.
the bat in the India series. Uh, I
Yeah.
think they're good
Sure.
enough. I do think they're good enough to come back from this and win that second one.
Yeah.
And even if they don't win it, I mean, I want to see a performance. I want to see an improvement. I really want to see an improvement in the second test in terms of the
Well, we
batting.
can't do
It,
any. Well, we can't do any worse. We can't do any worse than that. I
it's
mean, if
high
we
time.
do worse, yeah. I mean, if we did
Absolutely,
any worse than
absolutely. I
that,
mean,
yeah. If we did worse than that, then I guess we did worse than that. So,
you know,
hello,
I
can
really
you
think it's high time that the batting step up because I think for far too long the bowlers have been carrying this batting lineup because I mean they've been dismissing teams cheaply. But I think it's high time that the batters step up. Or if you can't step up, you need to step out. It's as simple as that. Sir. We're coming to that ultimatum now that if you really can't step it up, you got to step out. So I think there's going to be some harsh calls in that second test, definitely. You're really going to see some harsh calls in terms of the betting line, and I do believe some change would really help. So I hope we do get those changes in that second test. But I think enough has been said about this test match. So this was a really dismal performance, and I think it's one I want to forget quite quickly and just move on to the second test.
Yeah, man. To dwell on it will be like going into depression. So I just try and look at it in more in hindsight.
Try and switch
But
on.
though, I mean,
Just try and
pardon?
switch on. Yeah,
Oh, not only
just try
that.
and
I
switch on.
mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
no, I mean, you can't really look at it. Fine. I'm not trying to take anything away from New Zealand, right? But it was like only one side played and the one side didn't play. So the point is, it's hard to even look at New Zealand's performance as a complete totality. So it's like one side played at 100 and one side played at 10% or 20%. So unless we play at least at 50% and above, we'll know how good this New Zealand really team is in the next test match. So I think
Absolutely.
I think let's leave it at that for this. I'm sure we'll. I just hope we win the toss and bowl first. That would be fun to see how New Zealand face our bowlers then, and we take our catches. Now that would be the true test.
Yeah, I mean, going into this test series, I think that would have been our best chance of getting a result. Is actually bowling first because I think when our bowlers bowl first, they really do play with a lot of confidence, and
Mm.
I think
Mm.
they actually under less pressure. Let's face it, 95 all out, it doesn't give you much confidence, and it doesn't give your bowlers much. And I think when you get bowled out for 95 as a bowling lineup,
Mm.
you try and search for wickets. You go searching for
Mm.
wickets, and you lose your length, lose your lines, and
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
really dismal showings. I mean, let's be honest. Yeah, I think enough has been said about it.
Yeah, but on a final note, this pitch, fine, it did do something for the bowlers, but if you look at this pitch compared to our pitches back home, this pitch was kind of like it was bearable. So the fact that they played so badly on this pitch, when you looked at the pitches we played on at home, it was not really up to the mark. So I think, yeah, all I got to say that if we do get the same pitch again, and hopefully we do both first, we should play a lot better. Can't play any worse. I mean, otherwise we should be
I
up down rankings. Yeah.
I I concur with what you're saying. I really do. But I think the biggest issue with this batting lineup is the swing bowling. I think we've got some. When the ball is moving around, we do have real problems in this batting lineup, and I think
Yeah,
it's a
maybe, but
patience game. I think we need to go back.
mm,
I mean,
mm,
seriously. I mean, for flip's sake. I mean, this has been going on for too long. I mean, when last has
yeah,
this team actually scored 300? I mean,
yeah,
300
yeah.
plus should be should be the norm. Should be the norm in Test cricket. It
Mm,
needs to be the norm. You've got to target
yeah,
300 plus because 300 keeps you in the game. It keeps your bowlers in the game. And
yeah.
I
But
go back and
you
say
need.
this. There's a lot of,
Problem is,
there's a lot of teams
yeah,
who
man.
don't play well away from
Mm,
home, and this is the reason why. I think the home conditions are really too favored in the, I'd say, in the home team's favor.
mm,
And
mm,
Proteas are actually, they've seen that as well. I mean, they perform so well at home, but I think it's time that we do have a look at our pitches at home. We do try and make better
mm,
batting wickets. And
mm,
I mean, we're not talking about having flat decks, but make it more
mm,
true.
mm,
Make the pitches true, make the pitches fair, and something in it for the bowlers. And if you get through those overs, you could cash in as a batsman as well. And I think that the great example is the Australian pitches at the moment, and it'd be interesting to see how Australia perform in Pakistan, because that's going to be a real tough test for them in those conditions, and with the swinging deliveries and stuff. And the Pakistan conditions are quite challenging, and we saw it last year with the Proteas tour as well. So that'll be really, really interesting to see. But I do think we need to review our pitches, and I do think we need to have different conditions, different sort of pitches prepared. I mean, at different venues. I mean, we can't have the same sort of pitches where it's a sort of banging in length, and uh, you really can't do anything else. And you got to have pitches where you're going to bring the spinners into the game. And I do feel Keshav was really missed in this game because he could have held up an end. He really could have held up an end. He could have. I mean, drive those runs. And well, if you look at that, if you look at day two, and this is a shocking stat, from lunch up till tea, there was not a single maiden ball. There was not a single maiden ball by the Proteas, and that goes
mm,
to show the lack of control. I mean, there's just
mm,
absolutely no control in that bowling effort. And I mean,
mm.
when Matt Henry came to the wicket and Blundell was there, I mean, that was really, I mean, adding salt to the wounds. And I mean, for a number 11 to score 57, I mean, it's abysmal. I mean, you're in real trouble. And yeah, I mean, that was
Mm.
painful to watch. That was very, very painful to watch, Sid. So uh, hopefully I can get my sleep back for the next couple of days, and
Yeah.
get my energy levels back, so I can get ready for that second test, because I think this is one to
Mm.
forget, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that with that depressing match out of the way, let's get to something positive. India and West India West Indies. Yeah, they won the T20 series so far 2-0. They're playing the final one today. Yeah, I'm really happy for India, but the West Indies have been really competitive. It could have been 1-1 actually, but I'm happy. And it's also nice to see a real captain at work, so that's nice. And yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we spoke about the KL Rahul issue prior to that, so I think
Yeah,
normal service has been resumed in terms of the captaincy. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, very interesting series. I mean, I really thought the Windies had a chance in that last game. I mean, that was some powerful hitting from Rahman
Mm,
Paul towards the end there. I mean,
mm,
this is the strength of the Windies. I mean, that is why they really can't be taken lightly in this format. But I think it's down to consistency, and consistency is really, really hurting them at the moment. And
mm,
yeah, I mean, it's a T20 series, and I think India's main objective here is to experiment with a few players, and I
mm.
think they're getting that with some experimenting. And I'd like to see a little bit more experimenting from them today as well,
Yeah,
because I mean the
Kohli
series
and Rishabh Pant aren't playing today,
done
so
in the
your favorite Gaikwad will be playing today, along with who's the other guy? I forget his name now.
Well, I mean, the Gaikwad. I mean, we saw him in the IPL, and he looks superb. He looks a great talent, and yeah, it'd be nice to
Hmm.
see him in India colours. Eh? I think he's been waiting. I think he's been waiting for his place for far too long. I think he should have been given a spot in that SA series. I think
Hmm.
India really missed a trick in the one day series. They should have
Yeah.
blooded a few youngsters in that game. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's another exciting test, it's another exciting match. But I mean it's been a dismal tour for the Windies. Let's be honest. I
Hmm.
mean they really didn't take their chances. I feel. I think their bowling was really substandard in
Hmm.
this T20 series, and the batting was substandard in the one day series. The bowling was actually quite impressive in the one day series. So I thought they bowled excellently in all the
Hmm.
games. Even in the first game when they only got to 176, but I thought the bowlers really gave bowled their hearts out. And yeah, I mean, it's
Hmm.
strange. They just can't get it right with their bowling or their batting. There's something short with this windy side, and I think, I mean, they are a side that competes in T20s, but I just feel at times they don't tend to play the entire game. You got to keep the intensity going in that 40 overs, and I think the best sides in the world they keep that intensity for in the
Hmm.
batting and in the bowling. You've got to have that same intensity, and they leaked a lot of runs in that second game. I think those runs at the end really hurt them a bit.
Hmm.
I think it was probably 10 to 15 more runs than they should have conceded, and they probably would have won the game in the end if had sorry, Puran had Puran not been dismissed at that point. Yeah, I just felt they left too much in that last two overs to actually get. And I mean, that last over, I think that was probably asking for a Carlos Brathwaite moment there.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Oh
I think it
yeah.
was
That.
I think
Oh
it was
yeah.
one too many. And look, Rothman played a superb innings. Let's take nothing away from him. And I think
Hmm.
if there was a little bit more help from his teammates, probably would have won this game. But I think that knock really it could have been a match-winning knock. It was a knock that was deserving of winning the match as well. I thought he was superb.
Hmm.
His power hitting was fantastic. But yeah, I think its consistency is the main problem with this Windies side. So they can't string it together. And yeah, I mean, for a neutral's point of view, it'd be nice to see them win a game. It'd be nice to see them win a game. But
Hmm.
I mean, India are looking very, very strong in home conditions and looking quite formidable. So,
But
yeah.
India's fielding was pathetic in that second T20. When I saw the highlights on catch up, kind of reminded me, although they didn't feel as pathetically as we did, but yeah, the fielding, I think they got a bit lucky to win that second T20. So yeah, I think the luck is going in India's favor. But yeah, but I guess oh yeah, Shreyas Iyer or Gruturaj Gaikwad could both play today because Pant is not playing, Kohli not playing. They're given a break. They won't even play the Sri Lankan T20 series. I like what the BCCI is doing. They're really playing this smart. So it'd be nice to see both of them playing. What else can I say about this series? I mean, I can't wait for Rohit Sharma to captain the test matches. He's going to captain all three formats, but I don't know how he'll do it because he's not the fittest guy in the world, but I'm sure they'll find a way.
Look, it's a tough job, eh? It's really a tough job. I'm actually a fan of having two captains. I'm a fan of having a red ball captain and a white ball captain, and I see a lot of the top sides do that. I mean, you look at the likes of the Aussies. I mean, you've got Pat Cummins
Aaron Finch,
in the test format. You've got
yeah.
Aaron
And then
Finch,
yeah.
who's a great captain in the white ball format. And I do think it's good to have that. It's good to have two captains, sir, because I think Rohit Sharma as a player, it takes less pressure off him in certain formats. You know, especially
Mm,
not having that added responsibility. And
mm,
I think it's healthy for the group as well because I think I think you can build your side. I mean, you can build two separate sort of sides in terms of the red ball white ball, and you can bring your own sort of you can bring your own sort of flair to the side. So I think it's important to have two different captains for the red
Yeah.
ball and white ball
But I think
sort of
they're a
format.
bit old-fashioned that way, though. I think they're a bit old-fashioned that way. They like to have consistency
Yeah,
in all three, which is
I
fine.
do feel,
But
yeah,
it's
I do feel it's a bit old-fashioned, but I think the other problem that India is facing at the moment, there's not much good candidates out there.
well,
I'm
I
sorry to
mean,
say that, not much good candidates
no,
in terms of
there's
in terms
Rane.
of
I like his
leadership.
captaincy a lot. Rane is a great captain for Test matches. It's a shame I bet you if they give him permanent responsibility, he'll play a lot better. Look how he performed in Australia. So you need to give him that responsibility, or at least give it to someone like Bumrah, or give it to someone like who else is there, or even Ashwin. I mean, even Ashwin is a good thinker of the game, but just don't give it to KL Rao, please. I can't watch anymore. I've seen enough. I saw him in one test match, and I saw him in three ODIs, and that was enough. Watching the second test match was hard to take. Hmm.
Look,
But anyway, enough. Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about a captain, I think you've also got to look at age as well. You've got to look at a player that can actually give you that sort of, you know,
Hmm.
5-10 years in terms of leadership. And I think Kohli, I think he was given the captaincy at the right time. When MS actually
Yeah.
stepped down, I think he was the captaincy at the right time. And
But you
I think you've
know,
also got to give it to a player you've also got to give it to a player that's actually settled in the side. I mean,
yeah, and
you spoke about
Sharma is very
Rahane,
settled.
and
Yeah.
I compare
Yeah.
Rahane's numbers to Markram. I think Rahane's numbers are much better than Markram's. Although both have been a bit, the boy, but I look at Rahane's numbers. Rahane's numbers are much better, but unfortunately, I mean,
Hmm.
there's rumors going around that he's not going to play that Sri Lanka series, and along with Pujara, which is going to be a little bit disappointing because I mean those are senior players and they've
No,
really given
no,
a lot to the series, right?
no, they're just experimenting. They're just experimenting. They're not taken away for good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So
although if those
yeah, I mean,
players do great in those two test matches, who knows? I think they're going back to domestic cricket, which is good. They need it. Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. I think a break could do, and I think Aiden Markram could do with some 4-day cricket as well. So I really do hope they send him back to 4-day cricket for a long time so he can find his feet again because I really do think
Hmm.
he needs to reinvent his game. And I really do think, he needs to find a way of scoring runs because I think for far too long, bowlers have worked him out. I think when he first came onto the scene, he was superb. He was really, really superb against Bangladesh, India, Australia. That
Hmm.
was groundbreaking stuff. But I do feel bowlers have worked him out now. And I think he needs to go back and find his game
Yeah.
again.
Now, but on a final note regarding this captaincy, the way India could do it for this test captaincy, like make sure Rohit Sharma captain against the tough teams, and then you can give KL Rahul all the useless team like Bangladesh and so on. So at least if he's vice captain, I mean, you can't lose to Bangladesh, especially in India. Even if you're going there to tour, I mean, that's where you can rest Rohit Sharma for the test captaincy duties. Give someone like Rohit, KL Rahul a chance to get into the confidence because playing us, man, was like take wolves to the fine. I know our team was shit, but oops, excuse my language. But saying
I
that, but
don't
anyway,
want
that's
to. I don't want to. I don't want to disrespect any test lineup or any test team. So I'd stay out of that. I mean, we're playing
hmm.
Bangladesh very soon, so I don't want to disrespect any test team. Any test team. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that play test cricket. So I mean, if you play test cricket, you're one of the elite sides. So
No, what I mean
yeah,
is like no, what I mean. I'm just comparing in terms of. I don't mean it in a bad way. Although, how do I put this in a way? You know what I was thinking? Funny enough, if SA had
there's no
played,
easy way
India,
to put it.
no,
There's no easy way to
you know
put it.
what,
I mean,
you know what's funny? India would have wished that South Africa played like this in the second test match or third test match, then they would have made history. That's what I was thinking. Why couldn't they have done this for India? But no, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's over. It's done with. I've said enough on that piece, and let's move to the next segment or final segment. I think it's Australia and Sri Lanka. Another depressing one. Sure, Australia won this series so far 4-0. If I look at the current score line under the okay, oh yeah, it is. Australia made 154 for 6. Sri Lanka at the moment 82 for 4 up to 10.2 overs. I'm gonna call it out 5-0 to Australia. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it hasn't been a good series to watch, eh? It really hasn't been a good series to watch. I think in Sri Lanka's defense, I think the side is a bit inexperienced. Let's be honest. There's quite a few inexperienced players here, but although it's been so dismal and so one-sided, I think the one player that really stood out for me from a Sri Lankan point of view has been Nisanka up the order. I think he's been superb with that. Look, he's definitely one for the future, I feel. And I mean, Hasaranga getting COVID, not a good sign as well. I think they needed him this last two games, and yeah, I did give you a prediction earlier on, and I said that they were good enough to win at least one game, and I think they were good enough to win that third game, because I mean they took that game to I think it went to a super over, and I really think they should have won that game. And if I look back, that was a really controversial one, because if I do recall, there was a wide that was bowled, and it was not given by the umpire. So that was a real blow for the Sri Lankan side. I think they were kind of robbed there. So I really think they were kind of robbed there.
I know. I know it wasn't the third game. It was the second game. You got the games wrong. The third game, Australia won easily. Pardon?
Was it the second game? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Apologies. It was the second game. Game. And yeah, I mean, look, I had a look at that. I watched a bit of it live on my app, and yeah, I mean that was a clear-cut wide, and it was not given. So I thought that was really shocking umpire. And Australia must have been smoking. I think Australia got out of it when he made it. Lanka should have won that game, man. I mean, we're looking at each year. 4-1 would have looked a lot better than 5-0, but I really hope they can.
I think
what's the score at the moment? What's the current score?
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see something quickly. Corona, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Oh yeah, the current score is 84 for 4.
After how many overs?
11 overs. 11. So technically, they need
not a bad score. It's not a bad score. I mean,
71
runs. The run rate is just
71 is 71 or 51. 71 runs of 54 balls. So yeah, I mean, if they don't lose more wickets, then yeah.
I think if they don't lose any more wickets from here on, I think they can get the score. And I think 4-1 would look a lot better than 5-0. So I hope they can finish the tour on a high, because they're not being a good tour, and yeah, give them a little bit of confidence going into that India series. So yeah, I mean, this is a pretty young side. As I said, I think with the Sri Lankan side, I mean, they've made a few errors, like go in terms of not blooding the youngsters as earlier than expected, and I think they brought too many youngsters in the team too quickly, and I think this is the reason why they're in this sort of situation. But yeah, I mean, it's a side for the future. I don't think we should really be too hard on them at the moment. I'd give them another 2 years or so, and let's see where it goes for them. I'm sure they'd be a lot more competitive than what they are now, but they've got to keep these players that they do have at the moment. They've got to just back these youngsters and and invest in them, and results will obviously take care of itself in the future.
Yeah, I was just trying to think now. What are they gonna tell you now? I kind of forgot now what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I remember now. No, the series could have been 3-2 if the wide wasn't. I mean, if the wide was called, it would have been 1-1. Then anything can happen, Morale is so different, when you have that one win under your.
I do agree with you, and I think that really should have been considered by the umpires, and it was very disappointing to see that was such poor umpiring in that game. So yeah, I mean, I don't really want to digress too much
Mm.
into it. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just one that got away. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It just happens that when the one team is playing so well, a lot of things go their way, and when the one team is not getting any luck, even that goes against it. So, yeah, man, I guess we can only hope and pray. I think to say on a final note. So, yeah, final note is that I still expect us to bounce back, South Africa to, in a way, level the series, but that's only if we bowl first. If we have to bat first again, I think New Zealand can finally beat us in a test series. And then I think India will, although I made a prediction of India beating West Indies 2-1, but I think oh yeah, maybe it could happen because Kohli is not playing today and neither is Pant, so maybe it is West Indies' best chance of winning one. So I guess my prediction could still stand. And then Australia, Sri Lanka, I'm going to say Australia 5-0. I'm just don't have much faith in Sri Lanka, honestly. That's my final thoughts. You?
Yeah, I mean, the second test is going to be massive. I think our best chance is actually bowling first, like you said. I think that's how we beat India, by bowling first and getting them
India
out
makes too
for
many mistakes.
total.
India made too
And
many mistakes.
I'd like to see an improvement big time.
Mm,
Uh, this is a side that the Proteas have dominated for a long time. And I mean, you're
mm,
talking about. I would say this has probably been one of the worst performances against a team that hasn't beaten that. I mean, one of the
mm,
worst performances against a team that they haven't lost to in 18 years. So I mean, it just goes to
mm,
show the state that the Proteas are in at the moment when they don't have their key players with them. It's a
mm,
totally different fight to
mm,
when the key players. Yeah, so I
mm,
think it's real food for thought. But yeah, I do think we have the ability to bounce back. I think Elga has shown this. He's hard as nails, and
mm,
I think he can galvanize his side and get them back. And I think
mm,
one. I mean, I think New Zealand, given this performance, they'd really be disappointed in drawing the series 1-1. I think it'd be a real blow to
mm,
them to draw the series
mm,
1-1. And I mean, for the Proteas to
mm.
draw the series 1-1, it will really feel like a win. I mean, it would this would literally be a series win if they had to draw
Yeah.
this, had to win this last game and draw the series. So
Yeah.
yeah, I hope they get it done, and I hope that it ends in a 1-1 series win. So it would it would end the
Mm,
bleeding that we saw in this first test because there was a lot of
mm.
bleeding in this first. Yeah, so
Yeah.
all first, restrict them and obviously bat a lot better, and just play to the conditions. And I mean, Windies in India. I mean, look, the Windies are quite capable of getting it done. I mean, they were very close to that last game. I do think they
Mm,
have a
mm.
better chance today with Kohli not being around. And sorry, who's the other player
And
that's
Pant, yeah, they're just
Punt?
being rested. Yeah.
Okay, with Kohli and Punt being rested, I do think this is their best chance. But having said that, I think India are slight favorites, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Windies take this one as well. And I mean, 2-1, 3-0. I mean, it's still a series win, but yeah, I mean, I go for the Windies with slightly because I think
Mm,
they do have some power hitters in that can change the
mm,
game. And this could be a game for Pollard. I mean, this could be his game where he could
mm.
actually, you could see the best of Pollard. So yeah, India are definitely slight favorites, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Windies win this one. But I would go. I'd say the series end 2-1 as well in favor
Yeah.
of India. And
Okay.
then yeah, I hope Sri Lanka can win this game because I'm just hoping on hope here because I mean if you told me the run rate is not too bad at the moment, 71 or 52, but my only concern is the wickets column, and if Australia get another one or two quick wickets, it could be deja
Mm.
vu again. So yeah, it's a tough one to call. Hey, but yeah, I mean 5-0 to Australia is looking quite ominous at the moment, but I hope Sri Lanka can pull one out of the hat here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a wrap. I shall catch you next week.
Cheers, sir. Chat to you soon. Have a good weekend.
You too.